Sure.
writing something.
Public safety, police and fire, make up a large portion of the city budget. How do you feel about the staffing levels and resources available to these departments as they now stand?
I think that I know that the pensions are a huge concern with our budgets, and there have been years in the past where the city didn't have to pay anything into it because the stock market was, or at least the stock market was in at that point in time, stock market was doing well enough so that the city didn't have to pay into the pension. But that's not the case this time, at least, because we're stressed in that respect. But I do have to say that public safety should be one of the last things that are compromised. And I don't want to have this be, I don't want to have the public safety sector be a target. And I would even venture to go to public works and public utilities. I think that, if anything, we should make sure that not that we're growing those. I'm not saying we should expand them, but one thing that needs to happen is that we need to make sure that our public employees are supported by the city, but we need to have, this goes back to the comptroller, we need to have a clear idea of actually what the costs are, because I don't know what the numbers that we're given and how accurate they are, and we don't know if we could have saved money during the pension smoothing plan. Or we could. I don't think we need to make any major cuts as a city council, but I think the city manager should have the latitude to negotiate in good faith with any bargaining unit, whether it be a public safety bargaining unit such as the police, or the bargaining unit for the firefighters. So really, the city manager should basically have the information enough to let the, he should have the accurate information as to where the city needs to cut, and if the city needs to cut. I don't think that that's the first thing we should do. I mean, my platform is on the other end of the spectrum, whereas we should be looking for ways to bring revenue in so that we don't have to make cuts, and then try to rebuild our infrastructure and make Auburn a destination. I really don't think that it's all about cuts, and I just think that if the bargaining units, if the police, fire are understand where the city is now, and if we did have the numbers from a comptroller that is going to stay here and is going to work here and is going to help inform the city managers where to go, I think that is going to be. I think that's the first thing that needs to happen. I find that I find that the way in which things went down this last time it's not a good way to govern. Now, former Mayor Christy Angelis was absolutely right, because I had a colleague of mine served with him on council, and there were meetings throughout the year with the departments, and so there was a continuing dialogue between department heads and the council and the city manager, and there was that's I think a much more effective way than trying to piece together things every Thursday, and I think that if there was that kind of planning, that kind of slowing things down, trying to have a very good picture of what is really happening fiscally, we wouldn't need to make knee-jerk reactionary decisions. So as of right now, obviously, I'm in support of maintaining the public safety we have now, because I don't think I don't think we have a good idea of what our finances are now, and I don't want to just arbitrarily give up a huge part of our community to foggy and vague information. I think we need to know what the city's finances are, and everything comes back to that comptroller position or that chief financial officer. So, I mean, and it comes back to having an informed city manager and an informed council to help make decisions. But I know that my opponents say that they made a tough decision by letting go 10 firefighters. I think it's harder to actually put the time in throughout the year so that you're not cutting so deep into a department that has the best interests of the public in mind. So I think if there were warnings, or if there were if there was issues that had come up in the negotiations and the bargaining, that would be a little bit more. I at least on the part of the firefighters, they would at least know where this is coming from. But really, I think there's been a lot of blindsiding with the current council, because really they don't even have an idea of where they are. They just think that we don't know. Maybe we should just cut. It's like, it just seems like as I was quoted in the forum, we can't just cut our way out of our problems. We just can't. It's like, what else are you gonna have left if you just keep cutting? So I want to maintain our public safety. I want to look for other ways in which we can leverage public safety with neighboring, with other aspects of city municipalities. So and again, that might have something to do with restructuring that's been talked about. That might have something to do with streaming resources, and so I'm open to working with other agencies in our community and our general region, but I don't want to do anything until I see what our finances are and what our fiscal shape is. I don't want to say we need to cut this, because I really don't think we need to. I think we need to find ways in which we can build and strengthen public safety in our community.